They say every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let we join hands with ICPC, make them better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they want you.
Come on, hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
The menace of corrupt practices and other related offenses is indeed widespread and often embedded in institutional practices and the everyday lives of the citizenry. While ICPC has been employing various strategies to tackle this scourge, it needs the collaboration and support of all to succeed in the crusade. Notably here is the mass media, which includes broadcast, print, internet-based and other means through which information is widely disseminated to help in the fight against corruption. What are the media practitioners doing in the campaign against corruption? Are they living up to expectations? This is the area of focus on this week's edition of Corruption Must Go. I am Hawa Sani Garba, your anchor for today's edition of the program. But first, Joy Aja will bring us up to speed on the latest happenings in the anti-corruption campaign.
Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. I am Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. ICPC has collaborated with the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry (ACCI) and the Center for International Private Enterprise (CIPE) to intensify the battle against corrupt practices in procurement processes and related dealings involving vendors and contractors at different levels. The agencies jointly launched the Procurement Integrity and Transparency Training Partnership Initiative at the Abuja Trade and Convention Center recently. In his opening remarks, the Secretary to the ICPC, Mr. Clifford Okparedo Esquire, stated that the engagement was necessary to reorient and empower vendors and contractors on business ethics in the conduct of their businesses to mitigate corruption in procurement.
The key focus of the workshop is to sensitize contractors, vendors, suppliers on their various roles in the attainment of integrity, transparency, and credibility in the procurement process, as well as the ways and means of tackling the menace of procurement fraud and incidences of abuse of procurement processes. The ICPC has made significant progress in the fight against corruption, corrupt practices, and related offenses with sensitization and capacity building of major players in the various sectors of the economy, as well as the citizenry. The successes achieved are attributed to a large extent to collaboration with key MPAs and relevant stakeholders as in this instance, as we are doing here today with ACCI Best Center.
Delivering the keynote address, the Director General, Gombe State Due Process Bureau, Mr. Babayola Mohammed Issa, noted that procurement process was expected to be free from any undue influence or personal gain, and pointed out that procurement and supply chain management contribution was very key and central to good governance, especially in achieving efficient and quality service delivery to the citizenry. In his welcome address, the Deputy President of the ACCI, Professor Adesoji Adeshuba, stated that the availability of international best practices and legal instruments does not mean that countries would implement these set guidelines to create a corruption-free environment. He therefore proposed the continual engagement of vendors and contractors in the implementation of anti-corruption processes in procurement as solution for a corruption-free environment and the management of risk processes.
The goal and objective of this event is, the primary objective of today's event is to inaugurate the Procurement Integrity and Transparency Training Partnership Initiative between the ACCI, the ICPC, and the ICPC. This initiative stems from past instances of corrupt practices within procurement and related business dealings involving vendors and suppliers at different levels. Given the prevalent unethical practices in procurement processes, this event aims to lay the groundwork for nationwide awareness campaigns on integrity and transparency in procurement.
In her opening remarks, the country director of SIPE, Mrs. Lola Adekanye, stated that the workshop would equip vendors and contractors with the international best practices, emphasizing that it was important for contractors and vendors to understand and protect themselves and their businesses against corrupt practices. The formal launch of the initiative was meant to lay foundation for nationwide awareness campaigns on integrity and transparency in procurement, and also mark the prelude to a comprehensive training on business ethics and integrity workshop scheduled for ICPC vendors and contractors. In another development, ICPC has secured a conviction against the erstwhile provost of Isaac Jasper College of Education, Sagbama, Bayelsa State, Professor Xavier Nathan Agoro, who was arraigned in court by the Commission for contract fraud amounting to 285 million naira. Professor Agoro was arraigned at the Bayelsa State High Court alongside the former accountant of the institution, Mr. Perez Friday Lakemfa, for having interest in and conferring corrupt advantage on themselves and relations as a result of contracts that were awarded by the college. In the 12-count charge against the defendants, the presiding judge, Justice D.A. Adekema, found Professor Agoro guilty on counts 1, 5 to 12, while the second defendant, Perez Lakemfa, was found guilty on counts 2 to 4 of the charges. ICPC's prosecutors, Mrs. Peace Arocha and Dr. Agada Akogu, had told the court that in the course of the trial that the commission had in May 2017 received a petition alleging that Professor Agoro personalized state fund funds by awarding contracts to his company and companies owned by his relatives between the year 2012 and 2014 with flagrant abuse of due process and public procurement rules. Justice Adekema thereafter pronounced non-custodian sentences on the two defendants based on the charges. The first defendant, Professor Agoro, was given an option of fine of 1 million naira, while the second defendant, Lakemfa, was given an option of fine of 100,000 naira. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues with Hawa. Please stay with us.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
The functions of the media are critical in promoting good governance and controlling corruption. It not only raises public awareness about corruption, its causes, consequences, and possible remedies, but they also have the power to investigate and report incidences of corruption. Through the Freedom of Information Law, media practitioners have access to information that exposes graft. When judgments are passed against corrupt persons, widespread publicity is required to let the world know that the perpetrators do not go scot-free. This should serve to discourage and frighten would-be corrupt people. The question is, given this responsibility of the media practitioners in the fight against corruption, are they living up to expectations of their role in the fight against corruption? Our Corruption Must Go crew spoke to a renowned media practitioner, Mr. Yusuf Ali of the Nation newspaper. Take a listen.
It's not out of place for the government and the media to have robust relationship. They both have constitutional roles to play. And these rules are well defined. You go to section 14, 16, 15, and 15, 16, 17 of the 1999 Constitution. The responsibilities of the government to the people are highlighted here. Section 22 also empowers the media to play its own role. And the role is to hold government accountable to the people. It's more or less to serve as the watchdog. So it's like the case of a bricklayer and a painter. After the bricklayer has erected the building, a painter must come to do his own work. People see it as a kind of a cat and mouse game. It may be like that, but in whose interest? It's in the interest of the society, not to bring down the government. Unfortunately, some people do not see it that way. They see the media as just after those in government to cast aspersion on them. It's not like that. It's just to serve as the watchdog of the society. For a society to make progress, there must be checks and balances. And that is what the Constitution has ensured. It's a kind of balancing act. You are in government, the media serves as the watchdog so that the government can improve on what it is offering the citizens. Reporting anti-corruption activities is a daily routine of the media. Some of you who are not in the media may not know. Virtually every day we used to have editorial meetings, editorial conferences, reappraisals. We always have seminars. Anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria have been lucky because reporting them has become a prime responsibility of the Nigerian media. And you cannot wake up one day without reading any anti-corruption story or the other. Because Nigerian media promotes freedom of expression, openness, accountability, transparency. And those who are in charge of this anti-corruption drive, these are the agencies: EFCC, ICPC, CCB, Code of Conduct Bureau, and others. We have been promoting that on a daily basis. It may not be feasible, but we want a corrupt-free society. On our own part too, the media has its own ethics. Maybe you are not aware. And we are bound by that code of ethics. Recently, Nigerian media came together and set up a national ombudsman to also check infractions within the media. So if we can go to that extent, then you have the buy-in of the media in the anti-corruption procedure.
Welcome back from that interview with Yusuf Ali. No doubt, the media provides information on public sector corruption, and in particular, investigative journalism plays a crucial role in exposing corruption to public scrutiny and fighting against impunity. Our crew also spoke with an investigative journalist on the role of the media and investigative journalism in exposing corruption.
We do a lot of reports, investigative reports on corruption around the country, and ICPC has helped me through various training, including this particular one, to gain more knowledge about how to investigate crime, corruption in particular, and how to resolve criminal cases that has to do with corruption. ICIR is basically for corruption, tackling corruption, investigative corruption, and other crises that might lead to a bad image for the country. Before now, people take corruption as a normal thing, but now, even the mention of ICPC and other anti-corruption agencies put fears in the heart of people. It's no more open crime. It's no more something you do without any fear. These days, people are cautious. People are doing it with care, and to me, that's an achievement. At least it's a step forward in the fight against corruption.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go, ICPC's flagship TV program, and our focus is on maximizing the media's role in the fight against corruption. Recently, the Commission held a 2-day capacity building training at her headquarters for media practitioners. The purpose was to strengthen the bond between ICPC and the media, as well as highlighting the best practices to report the Commission's operations and initiatives. Again, our Corruption Must Go crew spoke with some journalists on their role in reducing corruption to the barest minimum in the country. Take a listen on what they have to say.
forgotten anything. I would not have forgotten the fact that measurement, M&E, we have the quantitative and the qualitative aspects to measuring the progress made. And oftentimes we focused on how many cases, but then it could be one case in which would help us save many other consequences, or which may have far-reaching consequences. And for that, we would look at it from the perspective of quality.
What I've learned today is how to work as an investigative journalist to get concrete and credible information and avoid, and also bear in mind and avoid fake news, which of course the SCPC chairman also urged the journalists to take care of. And then again, secondly, I get to understand the information, especially in numbers, in words, about the constituency project, those which were already given out to work with and which was siphoned into another thing, personally.
Based on the topics given by all the paper presenters, I am able to actually understand more the scope of anti-corruption and also the scope of the anti-corruption agency in Nigeria. ICPC has been doing a lot, and I, as an anti-corruption reporter, the training has afforded me with more opportunity in understanding the areas ICPC is focusing.
Actually, this training has been really eye-opening. It has been enlightening. I've learned so much. I've been able to actually see a lot of the efforts that ICPC is actually putting in place, the measures they are putting in place to curb corruption. I've learned a lot about the ICPC Act and what their mandates are. And it has also taught me or refreshed my mind to the importance of the role of the media. And myself as a journalist, that I have an important role to play, because before I'm a journalist, I'm actually a human and I'm part of the society. So I believe that in my reporting, I should also be part of the change that I want to see.
There's so much the media can do in the anti-corruption efforts, from setting the agenda through reports and documentaries, creating consciousness amongst the public through frequent discussion and interview programs, jingles and anti-corruption adverts, and the media itself being a change agent. The media should not be seen to be aloof. Journalists have the obligation to chart a true national course to an economically powerful, as well as a socially and morally vibrant Nigeria. That's our package on today's edition. Watch Corruption Must Go every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on the NTA Network and International. Keep a date with us same time next week. Bye for now.